After researching the disturbing landscape of social networking sites, including endless inappropriate content and thousands of predators targeting youth, Mary Kay Hull conceived and founded Yoursphere, which is a social networking service for youth that parents can embrace. Good to have you with us today, Mary Kay.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what motivated you to, take the time, the effort, and the risk to put this together. What's so dangerous about the current state of the internet for kids?
Well, I'm a mother of 5, and like all parents, I care about the safety and well-being of my kids. And while internet and social media, they're wonderful tools, educational, they're collaborative, they bring communities together. We're raising the smartest generation of kids thanks to technology. But when it comes to children's safety and privacy, kids are participating in sites that were created by and meant for adults. So with cyberbullying, with the predation of children online, with children being exposed to content that we'd never want them to be exposed to, I wanted to leverage my expertise in media and creating websites to leverage all the wonderful benefits, but to create positive change.
Yeah. Now, MySpace seemed like to really kind of go off the deep end fairly quickly, and a lot of crazy things on there. And Facebook seemed a little bit more safe, secure, and a little bit more mature in that way, and kind of almost okay in that way. But even on Facebook, there's issues of predation and things like that, right?
Well, there are lots of issues. First, number one, all parents should know there's a federal law in place called the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, and that law is in place to protect children's privacy. It is against the law for a child under the age of 13 to join Facebook. Number two, with 69% of children posting way too much personal information, identity theft, we have to understand that in a community such as a Facebook, they're being asked to provide their name, their first name, their last name, their school, their cell phone number. All of those things put a child's safety at risk. I also encourage parents to go up to the toolbar in Facebook, and unfortunately, because it's a community created by and meant for adults, there's a whole list of content that you'd never want your child exposed to. So again, Facebook, great tool, I love it, wonderful way to communicate, adults, businesses. But when it comes to kids where privacy and safety are an issue, there are alternatives.
Shortcomings there, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You actually suggest that kids get started with social networking at a fairly young age. At what age do you think parents should start to get their children involved with social media or just even with the internet?
As soon as they show an interest, I say parents should engage with them. Part of creating a positive change is parental involvement. When we buy our children a bike, we don't buy them the bike and drop them off on the freeway. We give them the opportunity to learn to ride the bike, they get a helmet, and they learn to ride in the safety of our neighborhood. So when I had created Yoursphere, I thought, okay, let's give kids the best of the internet. Hundreds of games, a virtual world, age-appropriate content. So my daughter, who's 6, she has a Yoursphere account. My sons, who are 9 and 11, they have accounts. I want kids to have the opportunity to learn to be good digital citizens, to learn to be kind to others online, because what's lacking is the education and the parental involvement. So by providing kids a great place to go, fun things to do, no matter what your age, I recommend to parents, as soon as your kids, show an interest, whether it's 5, 6, 9, or 10, get them involved in something that you're comfortable with and that you know they'll love.
Are you saying that some parents, they kind of slack off in parenting the internet? They're concerned about the internet, they're concerned about cyberbullying, but parents, are they really involved with their children and the internet, or do they kind of just turn on the television, like, you turn on the television and walk out the room?
Well, I think parents feel comfortable because their child's in the other room, and they're not so worried, about their safety. And then number two, when it comes to the internet, a lot of kids, of course, can run tech circles around their parents. And parents feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know the first thing about that. So as a parent myself, and I often think of my husband, he can send email and find great YouTube videos to watch. But parents need to understand that they can put their child's safety first. So at Yoursphere, we also offer yoursphereforparents.com. And we give parents step-by-step pictures, instructions about how to use YouTube Safe Search, how to turn on the Safe Search mode on Google, how to set the internet content filters, how to set your phone to safety mode, because parents need the tools and information.
Wow, that's a good
Wow,
tutorial.
that is good to know.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question that kind of when I started looking at Yoursphere, I thought, all right, I'm kind of a cynical guy in many ways. Here's a site dedicated to and attracting thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, whatever it may be, children. What's to stop an online predator to mask his or her identity and go on there, and all of a sudden you're in this world of where kids are talking to one another?
Well, there's, like the real world, nothing is ever 100%, but what is 100% guaranteed at Yoursphere, before any child is a verified member, a parent or guardian has to tell us who they are, and Yoursphere pays to verify that parent's identity. So if you're not a real person or you try to fake an identity, you can't get in, number one. Number two, I found it deeply concerning that registered sex offenders are freely able to interact with children online. So Yoursphere pays to make sure the parent providing consent is not a registered sex offender. Then number three, once inside the community, we use both technology and human oversight to monitor the content and interaction. We have a law enforcement team comprised of those that work for the Department of Justice in Wisconsin that have expertise in tracking online anonymous sexual predators. So we don't rely on just one thing on the outside. We rely on technology and human oversight on the inside. So that indeed, if there is someone, we know, unlike any other site, who everybody is. We can hold members accountable, and we have a track-back mechanism to exactly the person behind every account.
Very good, very good. Tell us a little bit about Yoursphere again, the site. You mentioned hundreds of games, virtual world, all that. What are the things that are most appealing to the younger generation of 13 and under when it comes to the content they want to see on the internet?
Well, Yoursphere was designed to give kids the best of the internet. So with that said, 400 games, a virtual world. Kids, of course, have profiles and can socially connect, but we give kids...
And they can connect around topics, too.
Yeah, they connect around topics because when you get a group of kids together, they're going to talk about things that they're interested in. So we have spheres dedicated to their interests.
Some might be music, some might be sports,
yeah,
some might be
academics,
what's on TV or school.
their youth group, performing arts, and so they can connect based on those age-appropriate areas of shared interest. And then while they're participating, they rack up credits to go shop in the gift gallery for free. We have a scholarship program. We have contests. So we're really engaging kids on great positive interaction.
Well, what about parents? You say here that you want to teach kids proper behavior. So is there something that the kids can go on and learn about, how to use Yoursphere and not go on bullying, not to give in to those pressures? What are you doing in terms of teaching how to use
We're doing a couple of things. Number one, we have a group of ambassadors within our community that are youth ambassadors. They're there modeling good online behavior. When they see something happening in the community, they're talking about being kind. Number two, we also proactively educate kids on their homepage every day. They log in. There's a new safety message, a reminder that if kids post it, they own it, and that they're accountable for their participation in the community. We also remind them of how to be internet safety smart, as we say. Don't share your personal phone number with anybody. Don't let someone know where you live. Even though this is a community where no one's anonymous, kids have to learn, they have to be taught about how to be internet safety smart.
So about how many users do you think you have now?
Oh gosh, under 100,000 and growing every day.
Okay.
And this is really just starting to get some legs, so to speak, and get out before the internet community.
Yes, we're just starting to, market and let people know that Yoursphere is here. We're a free site. Again, parents need to spend 30 seconds verifying their child's account, but we want parents to know that we're here. The majority of our memberships are activated by kids. In fact, 75% of the time, kids are spending a lot of free time on Yoursphere, and so we want to let parents know that there's an alternative, something where they can have peace of mind.
And you mentioned parents kind of getting up to speed on the already built-in safety features of maybe Google, YouTube, whatever it may be. What other online tips would you have for parents that may be concerned about, the whole internet revolution and the fact that their kids are connecting with just, the nebulous people online or unknown people online?
Well, I tell parents 5 different things. I tell them, number one, understand that there's a federal law in place designed to protect your child. If your child's under the age of 13 and you haven't provided consent and the website doesn't give you every access to all your child is posted, know that that website is breaking the law, number one. Your child doesn't belong on a site that says we don't want you here if you're under the age of 13. Number two, dialogue, dialogue, dialogue. Kids spend more time online than they do often watching TV, riding a bike, or driving a car. But parents aren't having discussions with their kids about how to be safe. And so again, I know oftentimes parents lack the resources and knowledge, so that's why we offer Yoursphere for parents to get those tips. Number three, a mantra of be kind online. Parents and kids have to understand that what you post never goes away, and there are real-world consequences to online action. So be kind online, dialogue, dialogue, and then I remind parents to click 5, 6, 7 pages deep. You might go to a site that might, look fine when you check your browsing history, but as I've personally found, once you dig past maybe the home page and 2, 3 pages in, you can see the culture and the people that your child is exposed to. And then finally, sitting down together and spending time with your child online is very important. It's all about communication and education.
Wonderful. Mary Kay, thank you so much for joining us today and for doing what it takes to get a site like Yoursphere up and running. If you'd like to connect with Mary Kay Hull, you can go to our website, harvest-tv.com. Click on Show Info in the menu bar. You'll link back to her website and what we're talking about here today, yoursphere.com. Check it out today, and if you've got children under the age of 13, great site for them to join and be part of that community, and a lot of tips for you as a parent as well, as you've heard today. We'll be back in just a moment.